Here we go. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zip here to bring you more crypto news. I hope everyone is doing fantastic out there and your mindset is on lock. Please remember, please subscribe, hit the likes out there. Let's get the algo going so we can grow the community and get the word out of all the great stuff going on in this crypto environment. Now, we're going to jump straight into it. Looking at the market real quick, we see Bitcoin at the time of this recording is at 118,000. Market's really kind of flat, to be honest with you. We see XRP on the 24-hour down about 2%, but all things are going as they need to go, and we just look at the market as a glance. That is not the measuring stick that we use here on this channel. We look at all the utility, all of the companies that are moving into this environment, and we've got some of that tonight. So we're going to talk about XRP, another huge price prediction out there about XRP. We got some ADA news out there, and PayPal breaking out with news again as this crypto environment and the evolution continues. So we got out here Phil Kwok and the Easy A App Brothers basically were on TV today, and he put out a prediction for XRP. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
And I think this is the first time I'll say it, but I think XRP is heading to $1,000 by 2030. So for me, it's, a super important project, and actually probably one of the most important projects out there at the moment.
If you didn't catch that, $1,000 by 2030. Drop it in the comments. Do you think we hit it then, or are we going to hit that $1,000 mark sooner? We know right now there are analysts out there speculating, and a lot of other folks speculating on what the price of XRP is going to be. I know it's going up. Specifically, how high, I don't know. And that's why time in the market matters. And you want to be careful if you have an exit strategy that you don't exit these markets too late before all that utility comes in, because you could be missing out on millions of dollars. Other news. Now, ain't this the truth here? Cheap XRP is relative. For any of you folks that are brand new to this market, welcome. Brand new to the channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe so you don't miss anything coming out and you get the notifications. But XRP or any other crypto, the price of it is relative depending on when you come into the market. All right. At these levels right now, we just saw it at the $3 mark. I believe XRP is still very, very cheap. If we look historically at where these markets were going, if you go back to 2019, Ethereum was what, $150, $200 at the time. That seemed like it would have been a lot of money if you were coming into the market as you were evaluating and looking at other things. But look at the price today. These blockchains continue to mature, and the cryptos that we talk about on this channel, real world use utility crypto that has a use case, as that utility comes in, they're just going to mature that much more. So price is relative. 2017, XRP price was cheap at way under a cent. 2019, cheap at 13 cents. 2022, it was 30 cents, cheap then. 2025, it's now sitting at the $3 mark. Still very cheap. Soon, we're going to look back. We're going to hit that $12 mark, $15 mark, and then there upwards, possibly by 2030, we're hearing $1,000. So how cheap is this crypto right now that you have the opportunity to purchase? And that's why when we talk about DCAing into the market, dollar cost averaging in, if you have the change, if you have the dry powder, buy when you can. All right, you're not going to be able to time the lows. You're not going to be able to time the highs if you decide to exit. You have to strategize, have it written down if you have an exit strategy. But again, the warning out there is be very careful, because you're probably going to want to maintain some of the stack of this crypto that you own for the future. But that's up to you. We don't give financial advice here on this channel. And in other news, PayPal out again. PayPal drives crypto payments into the mainstream, reducing costs and expanding global commerce. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see the large companies embracing crypto. And we know that PayPal has been working with Stellar and their PYUSD on the Stellar blockchain using that environment. But beyond that, they are now offering crypto payments. This is where the evolution is starting to go as we're seeing the stablecoin laws come into place with the Genius Act. And once we get the Clarity Act, man, things are going to begin to scream. And we're going to listen to Charles Hoskinson here in a minute talking about that very thing. But how about all the businesses out there being able to pay and accept crypto? You know, it says here, pay with crypto powered by PayPal connects merchants to a $3 trillion market, enabling instant crypto to stablecoin or fiat conversion. Absolutely, things are moving. And look, able to save up to 90% when compared to credit cards. Credit cards are going to be in trouble if they don't modernize and figure out how to work in this new environment. PayPal here, the transaction rate is 0.99% as compared to using the old system. This is the evolution that we want, and this is the evolution that is going to happen. Again, crypto that you and I own. That's what's going on here. And what crypto do they offer? Over the ability to pay with over 100 cryptocurrencies, including, you see it right down here, BTC, ETH, USDT, and there's the beloved XRP, Solana, and many, many more. The point is, it's an evolution. Things are moving fast. All this environment, think about it, from January of 2025 to where we are in July, almost August now, of 2025, things are moving at breakneck speeds, and they're only going to pick up more momentum. Very exciting to see this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This out here, this X post out here, very interesting. And give me a follow out on X. If you're on X, follow me. We try to put out the latest information out there as well, things that I may not cover in the channel. It's just an environment to learn. But again, if you're out there, be very careful. Don't follow any scammers and don't click anything that you shouldn't be clicking, because the monsters are out there trying to get your assets. But in this post, Paul Barron specifies and says banks and non-crypto brokerages are on borrowed time. And the reason he's saying that is, look down here, the days of paying a broker just to hold or trade your assets are about over. You know, the tables have turned. We now have the capability to manage. We own the assets. We own the assets that the institutions and the banks are going to want. All right. And they're going to pay us to use those assets in the future. That's the big broad picture. And that's why holding on, being patient, waiting for the laws to be cemented, waiting for the utility to come in is what we want to do. We want that long-term vision and just continue to hang on as these markets are going to start to scream up here, I believe, August, September, going into October. Again, Q4, we are going to have some explosive action. I do believe that. This is what the analysts are saying. So we're right there to see even more exciting times and more profits, because we're here to do what? Make money. Absolutely. Now, Charles Hoskinson. We're going to listen here to Charles as he talks about ADA, and maybe slightly controversial if you're, you know, a big BTC fan and what he's saying here. And again, I have nothing against BTC whatsoever, but I am an ADA holder. Many of you probably are out there as well. And let's just take a listen to what Charles has to say about ADA and where he believes it's going in the future.
As an ecosystem.
You think ADA will still outperform BTC in the future?
Of course, because how much farther can Bitcoin go? Maybe to 1 million. Okay, it's a 10x. ADA can go 100x, 1000x over this. It's like, guys, we're not a second-class citizen. Cardano does substantially more. And because of Bitcoin DeFi, it's going to end up probably being the yield layer of Bitcoin. And so it's going to get a huge halo effect from that. And because of the launch model of Midnight, partner chains are going to bring in airdrops almost annually to ADA. So you're like making the case for holding ADA. It's like if you hold ADA, you're going to get Night tokens. Night could be a $10 billion product right out of the gate. And 50.
So again, ADA has a lot of room to grow without a doubt. He mentioned the Midnight token here. Just a reminder, that airdrop is coming. If you are an XRP holder, you qualify for that airdrop. They still haven't come out with the exact requirements yet of how to get that airdrop. When it happens, you'll see it right here on this channel. But he's talking about the environment and all the big ideas that Charles Hoskinson and the ADA developers have for this. They're bringing Bitcoin on chain for DeFi capability. We know they're working with XRP. If you go back and listen to this, and props to Yano and the Empire YouTube channel, Charles says here that he's working with XRP. He'd like to accumulate some XRP to bring it in and to create another DeFi environment. They are working with multiple projects, bringing all of that liquidity and that capital on chain to ADA. So I think big things coming for ADA, and when he's talking about the growth, he's doing it as a comparison to what Bitcoin has done and where ADA is and where it's going to be going as far as the amount of capital and liquidity that's coming in. So keep your eye out for ADA. And also in this same interview, and we talk about this all the time, these cycles, if you're brand new again to this environment, generally the crypto market goes in cycles. We have a bull run and then a bear market, and it's a 4-year cycle traditionally. But with all of the utility coming in, all of the laws, the institutions, I do believe that those cycles are going to be a thing of the past. Doesn't mean that we're not going to have dips, but we may not go in such a deep bear market for years and years like we're accustomed to. Let's listen to what Charles has to say about it and see if you agree.
One thing I want to get your take on that I feel like is not, there's a lot of disagreement is, do we still have 4-year cycles, right? And since you've been in the industry has run on these, the market cycles have run in these 4-year cycles, obviously. I'm curious if you think the 4-year cycle is still intact.
No, it's a different cycle. It's something different going on. And I don't even think we're close to the peak of the bull market. People have gotten so pessimistic and cynical that they're like, oh, the market's dead and we've ballooned. It's like, dude, clarity's not even passed yet. When clarity gets passed, the Mag 7 are going to enter the cryptocurrency space. You're going to have stable coins go above 1 to 2 trillion in issuance. You're going to have real world assets come in. The total market cap aggregate is going to be over 10 trillion. And so I call this the Giga Chad bull run. It's like the biggest bull run we've ever had.
The biggest bull run we've ever had. And he's talking about everything that we have been talking about here on this channel about, again, the laws. He's talking about the Clarity Act that's going to get passed in September. That's going to give the framework and the structure to the institution exactly what's a commodity, what's a security, how can the institutions handle all of this new environment. So again, he is talking about all the way through 2026, this market continuing on. Will it happen? I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop it in the comments. I'd be interested to know your perspective on this. I do believe that the market structure, as far as the market runs, are going to change because of everything that's going on. But we will be here to report on it, and we'll find out in the very near future. Now, with regarding the markets, this is a nice little chart here. Remember, we've been talking about the Bitcoin dominance, and generally when we see that start to trend down, alt season hits and it picks up big time. And that's why we're still shooting for Q4 going into 2026. Some of these ginormous numbers that we're seeing with relation to XRP, we're going to start to see that start to creep up. We're still holding strong at $3 and the rest of the market's doing well. So unless we have some huge black swan event, You know, all cylinders are firing. Very exciting. We need you to maintain and be safe out there. Again, I keep mentioning it because it's so important. And I talked to someone else today that was just scammed out of their crypto. Okay. You have to be very, very diligent. If someone is coming to you and telling you they're going to give you anything for free, or they want you to send your crypto from your wallet to another wallet, or they ask you for your keys, run the other way. I'm not reaching out to you. And again, no one else is reaching out to you. You literally are in control of your own environment. Even if your crypto is on the exchanges, you're in a little less control then because you don't own your own keys. But just be very, very careful, because this is getting ready to be the most exciting and the greatest wealth transfer that we have absolutely ever seen. And there are going to be a lot of millionaires, multimillionaires, thousandaires that are going to be created in the next several months. So be safe and just keep that mindset on positive lock, because we want to make it across the finish line, and we want to spend our time on the most beautiful beaches of the world. That's what I look forward to. Look forward to meeting many of you. We're going to have some information coming out very soon on a meetup in January. Can't release it quite yet, but hope that many of you are able to come to that meetup, because it's about networking and finding people that we resonate together with. But until next time, Zip is out.